The Middle East is currently a whirlwind of escalating tensions, with Iran, the United States, and Israel at the epicenter. Recent events suggest a complex and dangerous game being played out with global implications. The U.S. recently launched attacks on 3 key Iranian nuclear facilities, Isfahan and Natanz, using stealth aircraft and Tomahawk missiles, dropping what were described as massive bombs. Following these strikes, President Trump declared Iran's nuclear program to be completely destroyed. However, doubts remain about the effectiveness of these strikes, with some suggesting that Iran may have moved its enriched uranium and equipment prior to the attacks, potentially rendering the strikes a show to save face. Satellite images purportedly showed numerous trucks around Fordo days before the bombing, hinting at a preemptive relocation. Notably, there was no reported radioactive leakage or increased activity in the areas after the attacks, and Iranian officials downplayed the damage, asserting their nuclear program remained largely intact. In response to the U.S. strikes, Iran launched missiles at U.S. bases in the Middle East. Notably, the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, one of the largest U.S. air bases in the region, housing approximately 10,000 to 11,000 American troops. Interestingly, Iran seemingly warned the U.S. beforehand, resulting in no American or Qatari casualties. This pre-notification, reported by the New York Times, indicates a calculated move by Iran to retaliate without provoking a full-scale war. Iranian officials stated they had to respond to the U.S. attack, but aimed to provide an exit strategy for all parties. This suggests Iran is keen to avoid a direct military confrontation with the U.S., understanding the catastrophic implications. Beyond Qatar, reports also emerged of Iranian-backed groups attacking U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria, though these attacks also appeared to be largely symbolic, with one reported strike hitting an empty, abandoned U.S. base in Syria. Following the initial U.S. strikes, Iran threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial waterway through which 20 to 30% of global oil and gas supplies pass. This threat caused a temporary spike in oil prices, highlighting the immediate economic repercussions of such a move. While the initial fear was of a bloody retaliation by Iran, the relatively restrained attacks on U.S. bases brought a degree of global relief, indicating that Iran is not seeking an all-out conflict with the U.S. Despite Trump's assertion that Iran's nuclear program was completely destroyed, Israel has continued its attacks on Iran. This raises questions about Israel's true intentions, suggesting their objective extends beyond merely dismantling Iran's nuclear capabilities. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu stated they are very close to achieving their goals in Iran, without specifying a timeline for the end of the attacks. Israel's ongoing strikes have targeted Iranian airfields and Revolutionary Guard bases, indicating a strategy to weaken Iran's air power and disrupt its military infrastructure. Furthermore, Israel has also attacked the Revolutionary Guard's internal security headquarters and Evin prison, symbolic sites of the regime. These actions suggest a clear aim of fostering unrest and inciting regime change in Iran, a tactic previously employed by Israel in Syria. Notably, even President Trump has now publicly entertained the idea of regime change in Iran, asking why not. This alignment of rhetoric between the U.S. and Israel on regime change further complicates the regional landscape. The Israeli military has even issued warnings to Tehran residents, urging them to stay away from regime-affiliated arms production facilities, military bases, and security institutions, indicating more intense attacks are planned for these locations. In the face of these escalating tensions, Iran has sought support from Russia and China. While Russian President Putin has verbally condemned the U.S. strikes as unjustified and offered verbal support to Iran, there have been no concrete promises of assistance. Former Russian President Medvedev's controversial suggestion that some countries might provide Iran with nuclear warheads drew a sharp rebuke from Trump, who warned against taking the nuclear word lightly. The possibility of North Korea supplying nuclear weapons to Iran has also been floated, though it remains a speculative scenario. The current situation highlights a desire from Iran to return to the old ways of regional engagement, avoiding a direct confrontation with the U.S. However, both the US and Israel appear to have shifted their positions. Israel, in particular, seems more aggressive and less inclined to return to previous dynamics. The question remains whether the US will fully commit to Israel's apparent goal of regime change in Iran. The coming days and weeks will be crucial in determining the trajectories of this volatile situation. The world watches with bated breath as these powers navigate a dangerous path.